Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are finally, even though it just came out, it feels like I've been waiting forever, finally going to review the new Patrick Ta eyeshadow palette. This is the Major Dimensions 2 palette. I feel like this is the most exciting palette release of 2022 so far. I know that I myself am super excited for it because I love his first palette that came out last year, and I've received quite a bit of messages from you as well, so yeah, I cannot wait to get started. In this video we will of course be testing out the colors and the formula. I'm going to be doing 3 different looks, some swatches, we might do some palette comparisons at the end, and I cannot wait to get started. If you're new to my channel, my name is Patty and I would love it if you were here to stay, so please don't leave without subscribing. And if you like today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. Let's go ahead and go for it. The Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 Rose eyeshadow palette retails for $68. You can get this palette at Sephora and on the Patrick Ta website, of course. And Sephora is currently having their semi-annual savings event, so if you're a Rouge, you can get the palette right now for 20% off, which is what I did. And if you're a VIB, you can get it for 15% off. Insiders starting on the 7th can get it with 10% off. The link to the palette will of course be down in the description box of the video, so if you decide to go for it, don't forget to use my link down below. And I also went ahead and listed everything I am wearing on my face as per usual. And since we're doing a Patrick Ta review today, I'm using his bronzer and blush along with a bunch of new products I have been getting recently and loving, so definitely check the description box for all of that info. Sephora says this is a daily wardrobe of rose-toned neutral shades that will become your daily go-to palette, a mix of warm, cool, and neutral matte satin and pearlescent shades with 2 cream bases that creates the perfect rich canvas for your shadows. I cannot wait. My first impressions when looking at this palette is that I'm probably going to absolutely love it. This is not like shade innovation by any means. I feel like we might have shades very similar to these in our collection. I can think of maybe the Naughty Nudes palette from Huda Beauty or the Nude Obsessions in the color Rich and Medium. Those palettes kind of have similar vibes. We will do some side-by-side comparisons at the end. Now, when his first palette came out last year, I feel like we all kind of thought the same thing, like these are shades we probably already have before. However, it still became one of my all-time favorite palettes of 2021, and so I'm hoping that this will have the same effect on me. And it's because his formula is very rich, very luxurious, and very easy to use. Plus his palette has something that no other palettes have, and I feel like that's what sets them apart, and is the cream shades right here. I truly find that these are special. I don't usually use cream shades on my eyelids all that often, but these cream shades simply work so perfectly with his powder formula. I have layered his creams with his mattes. I have sandwiched them in the middle of my looks, and it always looks beautiful by the end of it, so I'm really hoping that with this one I will have that same experience. Let's go ahead and get into the swatches. Starting with the first shade, which is the cream in the color Loyal. Really love the rosy undertone on that one. Then we have the color Affair, and basically the rows go from darkest to lightest. The next color is Desire, which is a beautiful warm shade. And we have Lust as the 4th color in that row, which is a stunning duochrome. The next color is Romance. Oh my goodness, I love that one. And Adore is the last one from the first row. Super creamy. Moving on to the second row, which is the row of matte, we have the color Unfaithful to start with, which is the darker cream. Heartache, beautiful dark brown, Passion, Devotion, and the 2 lighter mattes, which are Amour and Crush. Every single one of these shades is incredibly smooth and pigmented. They all feel so buttery. I am so excited to start playing with these. Okay, the moment I've been waiting for, let's get started playing with these shadows. I will of course be using my Refer brushes as I do in every video. You guys know these are my absolute favorite brushes ever. They are natural hair, handcrafted in Japan, and currently 40% off site-wide. The link is in the description box. Let's get started. I'm going to use the color Crush right here with my Refer number 15 brush, and I'm going to tap that shade with my blending brush all across the crease of my eye. I didn't prime today, I did just use my concealer and setting powder all over my eyelids. I'm going to add a little bit more of that color Crush just to have a nice even base all over my crease. Next, I'm going to tap my Refer number 12 on the color Adore, which is the lightest cream shade, and I'm going to tap it on the outer corner of the eye. That cream shade is beautiful. Okay, so I'm tapping it everywhere to deepen things up a bit, and I'm going to start lightly blending it onto my crease shade with the same Refer number 12. I have a clean Refer number 1. And I'm just going to really blend out that top edge I created. Oh my god, yes. Okay, so far, love. This right here could be a look and I could be happy with it. But we are going to darken things up. I want to use the color Devotion next on that same Refer number 1 brush, and I'm going to use it to deepen up my outer corner even further. This is what I was telling you about sandwiching the cream. I used the matte, then I used the cream, now I'm using another matte. And it's okay, it all blends beautifully into one another, just like with his first palette. And I'm going to blend it by doing little circles in upward motions into the crease shade. With a Refer number 28, I'm going to grab the color Lust, and I'm going to tap it on my eyelid. I'm intensifying it with my finger a bit, and back with the brush for a little precision. It looks like I have crystals on my eyes now. I love that shine. Refer number 26, and back to the cream shade. And I'm going to use that cream all under the eye, spreading it with the tip of my Refer number 26 brush. A little bit of the color Heartache on a Refer number 3, and I'm going to really deepen up my under eye with it. And then with my Refer number 13 and the color Crush, I will smoke it all out. Just back and forth. Blend everything down here. Refer number 28 and the color Adore. And that's going to be my inner corner shimmer. For my waterline, I'm going to use Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk eyeliner. Alright, and here we have the first look before mascara or lashes. This palette was love at first sight, and I mean, so far, still loving it. Let me finish it up and show you the final first look. Take a look at the first look just with a little bit of mascara on. And back with some lashes on. These are the Ardell Light as Air in 523. This is the final first look. I'm obsessed. Love the way that it turned out. Love the way lashes elevated. Cannot wait to keep playing. Let's move on to look number 2. I'm going to start look number 2 with the color Crush on my Refer number 15. And just like we did for look number 1, this is going to be our transition shade. So I'm going to just back and forth blend it all over my crease, starting from the outer corner and blending it inwards. To deepen things up, I want to use the color Passion. And I'm using it with my Refer number 1 brush, starting on the outer corner and blending it upwards with the tip of my brush, just back and forth right here. And you can see how easily these colors blend. It is magnificent. Back with the number 15, just run it through the edge a little bit, and that will diffuse everything so nicely. And just build it up until you are happy. I'm happy with the way things are looking right now, and I want to go ahead and use the darkest cream color right here on top. So with my Refer number 12, I'm going into the color Unfaithful, and we are going to darken up the outermost corner of the eye with it just by tapping it in place. And I'm running my Refer number 1, nothing more added to it, just to blend out that cream really nicely. Okay, so far so good. Absolutely loving this. With my reference number 2, I'm going into the color Desire right here. And I want that to be my eyelid shade. Just tapping it all over the center. So I'm putting it where I want it with my flat reference number 2 brush. And just to use a different color, I want to use the color Romance too. I'm using my reference number 2 still. And I'm going to put that one a third of the way into my eyelid and on the inner corner. Okay, so I'm done with the top of the second look. Absolutely loving that. I'm going to start on my under eyes with the color Unfaithful on a reference number 3 and darken up my under eye area with it, starting on the outer corner always and bringing it forward. And I'm going to mix a teeny tiny bit of Passion with Crush on the tip of my reference number 13 brush and run that underneath my eye to blend it all out. I'm loving this. And you can see how look number 2 is a lot warmer than look number 1 over here. I think the Pillow Talk eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury is perfect for this palette. So I'm going to use it for every single look. I went ahead and put it on right here. Here we have look number 2 before any mascara or lashes. Really loving the warmth, and those shimmers look like little tiny crystals on your eyes. So beautiful. Let me be right back to show you the final second look. Here's the second look just with a little bit of mascara on. Here we are. This is the final look number 2 with lashes and all. Obsessed with the way that this one turned out as well. Love the shimmery, glimmery sparkles on the eye and the depth of everything. These shadows are extremely effortless to blend. Let's go ahead and move on to the third and final look. Let's go ahead and get started with look number 3. I just wiped off looks 1 and 2 and reapplied concealer, but I still have mascara on and I still have the Pillow Talk eyeliner in my waterline, which I left there on purpose because I think it's perfect for this palette, so why would I take it off? And let's go ahead and start with the third look, which I just did on the other eye and I'm obsessed. Starting with the color Crush once again and on my reference number 15 brush. This is just a perfect transition shade in this palette, and so I'll probably end up using it like this every time I pick it up. Building it on the outer corner a tiny bit until we have this nice wash of color. And I'm moving on to the color Amore on my reference number 1 brush. We are going to do a halo eye, so I'm going to start by blending Amore on the inner corner of my eyelid here and into the crease. And we will also be darkening up the outer corner of the eye into the crease as well. Make them meet in the middle here. And back with my reference number 1, I'm just going to blend out this top edge so that everything looks nice and diffused. Reference number 26 brush and the color Unfaithful. And we are going to layer it on top on the outer and inner corners of the eye to deepen things up a little further. So I'm first just patting it exactly where I want it, and then back with my reference number 1 brush, I'm going to blend it into the previous shade. So stamping it all over where I placed it first, and then with the tip of the brush, blending it into the crease ever so slightly. I don't know where that shimmer came from. I did just use this brush to make this look on the other eye, so it might have had it on there somewhere, but regardless, because once I keep going, you're not going to see it. Just look at how beautifully that cream blended into the matte powder shades. For the center of the eye, we are going to use the color Adore, and I'm going to just tap it all over the center with my finger. And this color is like a beautiful foiled metallic with glitter. It is beautiful, to say the least. So I'm going to tap it all over the center of the eye. And back with my reference number 26, a little bit of the color Affair. And this color is what we are going to use to blend my matte side into my shimmer side. So I'm just going to run it through the edge of this center glitter color. Just back and forth, running it through the edges. And this right here is the top of the third look. Let's go ahead and move on to the under eye. Back with the color Unfaithful, this time with my reference number 3 brush. I'm going to swipe that color on the outer and inner corners of my under eye. And I'm going to grab the color Adore on the tip of a reference number 28 and swipe it right in the center under here. I'm going to mix these two shades next with my reference number 13. And with that mixture, we are going to smoke out the under eye area, back and forth with a very light pressure. A little bit more Adore on a flat brush, and we're going to put it on the inner corner of the eye. Okay, so this right here is pretty much the third look with mascara on, since I never took it off. Let me be right back with some lashes and show you the final third look. So now I'm back with the lashes on, and this right here is the final third look. Absolutely love this one. I love halo eyes, especially when they're pretty dark around a very light shimmer shade. So obsessed with this look. And I did do this one on both eyes, so take a look right here. Love it. Back after doing 3 looks that I thought were pretty gorgeous with this stunning Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 2 eyeshadow palette, and I had a blast playing. His shimmers are so beautiful. They have shimmer and sparkle and a metallic finish. They're very nice and intense, and they're buildable and blendable and pigmented. Everything, they are so beautiful. They don't feel as thin as, say, Pat McGrath Astro Blitz shades. They are a little bit thicker than that, but the effect on the eyes is incredible. This palette, by the way, I got curious, and it is actually made in the USA, so that's pretty exciting because these formulas are top-notch. So let's do some color story comparisons with other palettes that I kind of thought of when I saw this one. First, I want to compare it with the original Patrick Ta palette. As you can see, they have quite a different color story. The new one has a lot more reds in all of the formulas. Format wise, they are kind of similar, although I do like that this new one has more shimmery, glimmery shades than this one does, because I remember that this one had some of those shades that are like matte with like a sprinkle of glitter in them, which I don't ever understand. So format wise, I like the new one a little bit better because it has a beautiful amount of mattes and metallics and none of those in between shades that I don't tend to prefer as much. And I am obsessed with the colors of the cream formulas he chose for this one. They are incredible, especially this rose color up here. Oof, to die for. Someone had asked me to compare it with the Natasha Denona Retro palette, so I'll do that, but I really don't think that the color stories are too similar at all. So this is what they look like side by side. The Patrick Ta one has a lot more neutral and warm undertones, whereas Retro is pretty much exclusively a cool purpley undertone palette. Patrick Ta has a lot more orangey red shades. One that I was thinking about a lot was the Huda Beauty Naughty Nudes palette, and this is what these look like side by side. I feel like these do have a lot of shades that are kind of similar to one another, but the formats of the palette are very different, and Patrick Ta has these special cream shades which Huda doesn't. The shimmer formulas in the Patrick Ta are probably a little bit more thick and chunky. Not that they don't look super refined, but just in comparison to Huda, it's like a teeny tiny bit thicker. But then I do prefer the mattes from the Patrick Ta palette to the mattes from the Huda palettes. And here it is in comparison to the Huda Beauty Nude Rich, which I thought was going to be closer actually, but this one looks a lot more like red burgundy than the Patrick Ta one does. Finally, the Huda Beauty Obsessions Medium. So like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I don't think the color story is super innovative. As you just saw, I do have some palettes in my collection that have a pretty similar color story, but I do like the Patrick Ta formula a lot. I love his packaging and presentation, and I'm obsessed with how good the little cream shades are to add into your looks and how beautifully they blend with the powder shades that come in his palette. All in all, this palette is a 10 out of 10. 10 for me. I do highly recommend it, and now that the Sephora VIB sale is happening and you can get it with a 15 or 20% off, then I would for sure go for it. Don't forget to check all of the links I'm leaving you down below if you want the palette, the brushes, which are 40% off. Any of that will be very easily found down in the description box of this video. If you guys like the video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment down below what you thought of this palette. Let me know which look was your favorite. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I'm going to try and post this video as soon as possible. Thank you so much for being here. I love you, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.